Blog Talk Radio.
It's that time, baby.
Jason, your reaction to Ryan Braun being suspended for the remainder of the season?
Well, this is obviously a huge story on many levels. The first thing is Ryan Braun is a guy who had always maintained his innocence, had portrayed himself at times almost as a victim, and went from I didn't do it, I was a victim of a flawed process, I just talked to the Biogenesis people because their lawyers had questions for my lawyer, to I realize now I have made some mistakes and I am willing to accept the consequences of those actions. So clearly they had a lot of evidence on Ryan Braun. The other thing that's interesting here is that clearly originally this had to have been a longer suspension. If Major League Baseball was going to follow the standard playbook and charged him with a first offense, he would have gotten 50 games. But the remainder of this season is 65 games. We can only assume that he was told that if you wish to appeal, the suspension is 100 games, possibly even longer. And so essentially, Ryan Braun cut a deal.
Suspended for the remainder of this season and the playoffs if Milwaukee were to make it there. How much more time could Braun potentially miss, or do you think that just the remainder of the season is going to be his punishment for his role in this?
Well, apparently that was the agreement they came to in exchange for him waiving his right to appeal. I think it's safe to say that because of what he means to the Brewers, or what he has at least meant in the past to the Brewers, a team that has basically wrapped its franchise around him, it would have been extremely difficult for them to go through the offseason not knowing whether they were going to have Ryan Braun for a full season, for half a season, or something in between. At least this way, they know and he knows. They won't have him this year, but they will have him next year. Now, whether his performance is affected in any way because of this, whether his reputation is affected in any way, all of that is yet to unfold. But it does.
Ladies and gentlemen, King JB, C. Will the Realist, we are here. Of course, it's Let's Talk Sports. I'm breaking it out right off the jump. Breaking news, Ryan Braun suspended for the rest of the season. This can't fare too well for a lot of the people that's under investigation right now. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves, man. C. Will, man, glad to have you back. Glad to have you here. How you been, bro?
Oh, good, man. I'm glad to be here. Long day, but you know what I'm saying? We're going to make it happen and get into the sports room and chop it up well tonight.
Absolutely, man. And as you know, man, I understand you probably heard once you got in here, Ryan Braun of the Milwaukee Brewers, breaking story today, suspended the rest of the year. That's kind of interesting because of all of his denials in the past, which I'm sure we will get to here shortly. But what were your thoughts, man? Is this your first time hearing it, or what are your thoughts about this Ryan Braun suspension?
I can't say as I'm surprised in the suspension, he's went on record as quoting himself as saying, "As I have acknowledged in the past, I am not perfect. I realize now that I have made some mistakes and am willing to accept the consequences of those actions." So I'd just like to know what he means about "I realize now" as opposed to before. I mean, were we not supposed to be juicing before, but we're allowed to now, or vice versa?
I know you're right, too. And what makes it so funny is his adamant denial 2 years ago during his MVP season. And everybody knew he was lying then. He basically said, I didn't do it, and I'll take the fifth on everything else. Back then, did you know he was lying?
I mean, you never know, but the writing's on the wall. I mean, it's assumption. I'm a Yankees fan, and I know A-Royd, as I like to call him. I will save that for a minute, though, because I know that's going to be a beautiful segue.
Oh, yeah, because you know it's coming. You know it's coming, and that does lead me into that. But just in general, man, how big of a loss do you think this is for the Milwaukee Brewers this year? I know right now, it's not like people are picking them to win the World Series, obviously. They're 41 and 56. They're fifth in the NL Central. obviously not necessarily a World Series contender, but, in the long run, do you think this means that eventually they'll move on past Braun, or just in general, what do you believe its future will be?
Well, for Milwaukee, the beer city, they're going to be on some hard times and wallowing in their beer because Brian Braun is definitely the face of the Brewers franchise. There's no arguing it. There's no doubt about it. So they're going to take a hit regardless. Like with the Yankees and stuff, obviously A-Rod, he's the main man. He's the one that makes all the money, but he's one of it. They come a dime a dozen in New York. But this man, Braun out here, he's like the whole team. Like, they depend on him not only for hits, home runs, but as an image. And they're going to take a hit for years to come, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. And, this does obviously open up the doors to this next topic. A-Rod, man, he was going to come back tonight. And A-Rod, unfortunately, but yet maybe fortunate for you Yankee fans, is back on the, they sent him back to Tampa for some more tests because I guess he has another injury, torn quad, possibly. My question with this is do you believe the Yankees are buying time because they know if he never sees that field, they don't have to pay him, and also if his suspension gets laid down first, then he never touches the field this year. So just kind of questions, what was that?
To that, as a New York Yankees fan, I say fingers crossed. Like, I hope to never see him in pinstripes again. Since he came to the organization, like, I'm thankful for 2009 because I thought he single-handedly reversed the curse. Like, if we didn't win in 9, I would be stuck to we will never win the World Series with Alex Rodriguez. He busted out the seams that one year in the playoffs. Besides that, he's hit a dismal 112 in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's horrible.
112.
That's horrible.
I mean, he's garbage. And anyway, like, he's more of a media circus than anything, like getting fed popcorn, like by Cameron Diaz at the Super Bowl. And, like, those are more of the storylines you see with Alex Rodriguez than him hitting home runs anymore in the last 3 to 4 years. So, obviously, we could use him in the lineup undeniably. It's the regular season. He's going to do numbers. But I'm not surprised. Here he comes back now. Supposed to be minor league rehab, AAA, coming up, supposed to be back Monday. Oh, strains a quad or something. I mean, it's always something with this dude. And for that 150-game suspension is looming dark soon. And what's that, going to go deep into next year? So, I mean, hopefully he'll never be a Yankee again.
Well, that leads me to two questions. Number one, do you believe A-Rod's playing career is over? And number two, more importantly, do you believe the conspiracy theories? Do you believe when many out there, including myself, believe that the Yankees sent him back to Tampa to buy time so they didn't have to get him on the field and pay him? Do you believe they're hoping that he's suspended?
Well, to me, if that's a conspiracy, then, I mean, it's a smart one, because if we can pull out something that we don't have to pay him and can duck that $25 million this year, like, I'm all for it. So I'm hoping that that's what the Steinbrenner children have up their sleeve and Cashman, but if that's a possibility, then I'm all for it. I mean, I must have missed that one, the fact that we might have to pay him. But, yeah. So, and what was the second question, Gunnar?
Is A-Rod's career over, man?
Oh, it's been over. I mean, I don't know if he's not ever going to play again, but he'll never hit 40 home runs in a season. I'll be amazed to see him hit 35. Amazed. Like, when he broke 500, everyone's like, oh, he's going to get, 755. He might get Barry. He might get Willie Mays. He might get Rufy. I mean, we know, most people that know baseball know he's been manufactured since the Seattle Mariners. So,
right.
Alex Rodriguez has always had a stench of arrogance and a stench of cheating. So, I doubt that he will never play baseball in the major league again. So, if the question is his career just straight over? What it once was, yes. But do I think he'll play Major League Baseball again in the bigs? I do. So,
absolutely. Manny Ramirez is getting extra shots. Of course, A-Rod's going to get one. I do think it'll be at a very discounted price. But I will say this. There's no question about that. Let me ask you as a Yankee fan this question. If you had the choice to rewind time and get Ken Griffey Jr. at the beginning of his career, even knowing his injuries, or Alex Rodriguez at the beginning of his career, knowing his injuries, knowing his steroid use, which one would you pick, Griffey or Rodriguez?
I would take the sweetest swing in baseball, hands down. Like, to me, like, swing the bat, kiss the ball, drop the bat. Like, you already know who I'm talking about without even being at the bat. Like, I used to model my batting stance after Griffey. Until I realized I was more of a Mo Vaughn. Go ahead, though. Robert and Mo Vaughn, hell yeah. I could go with that with the Twins, but not the Boston Dead Sox. I mean, I can't dig those days. But when he was a Twin, I was feeling Mo Vaughn. Mo Vaughn.
I hear you.
Crusher. I'm more like, I feel you with the Cecil Fielder stance. Not the Prince, the old big Cecil from the Detroit days. That's how I swing the bat. But, man, I think the closest one in the game right now would probably be Robinson Cano. His swing, it's probably no mistake he wears the number 24 as well. But Robinson Cano, like I probably would say, I'm a Yankee fan, obviously, but Ken Griffey Jr. was never a Yankee. So it's not like I'm a homer to Ken Griffey. But in my opinion, I think Robinson Cano got the closest swing to him in the game right now. Well, how about you, Gunnar? Who you think got the prettiest swing in the game right now?
Absolutely. You said Griffey's got the smoothest swing in the game, right?
Yeah, and then I said right now in the game, I think Robinson Cano probably has the closest to Griffey. So that being said, I think he has the nicest swing in the league. In your opinion, who has anyone you think has the best swing in the league?
Currently,
I was curious.
Currently, that's a good one.
I like the boy Hayward out there in Atlanta. Boy Hayward in Atlanta got a nice swing too.
As crazy as it sounds, and no one will agree with me, I think Todd Helton has the sweetest swing right now. In the league. Period.
He used to pitch, right?
Say what?
He used to pitch, didn't he?
No, Todd Helton was the first baseman for the Rockies. I think he's a bench player at the moment.
Okay.
But,
that's you.
Yeah, he always. Yeah. I like quite a few people, man. Let me ask you. A lot of us, when we were younger, used to play home run derby with the wiffle ball, and we always tried to emulate the stance I did of the person that I was being in the home run derby. What was your favorite stance to try to emulate? And did you ever do that? And
yes,
what was your favorite?
Yes, I did. I'm over here cheesing, living my little 80s baby days, reminiscing on you bringing that up. We didn't really play with the wiffle ball in the apartment buildings we had. We do have our regular old wooden and aluminum bats, but we break out the tennis balls. So, if it hit a window, it hit a window. So we had, you had to hit it over the entire roof would be the home run. But to answer your question, the stance I tried to most emulate was two guys. Neither one of them were really home run hitters. They just were the funny stances. One of them was Ricky Henderson. He crouch low and stick the leg out. I always try to do that. Another one was ugly old swing, Mickey Tettleton from the Tigers. I used to try to set the bat up and act like it. What's that?
I know exactly what you're talking about. The one I loved to emulate the most. The one I loved to emulate the most was Frank Thomas. Number two, and Frank Thomas is because Frank Thomas is my favorite player of all time. I'm a White Sox fan. I'm a big Frank Thomas.
As a White Sox.
Then second, believe it or not, was Julio Franco. The way he used to bring that bat up and curl it all the way over his head. For some reason, it reminds me of Bill Cartwright's jump shot. I don't know why. It's weird like that. And Julio Franco.
I can understand that. That's kind of how I understand, and that's kind of how I'd relate Mickey Tettleton's swing is maybe like a Bill Cartwright shot.
Right. You know what?
Something definitely unorthodox.
we are old, man. The fact that we even know who those people are makes us old as shit. But
yeah, I mean, the Nintendo came out 30 years ago today. That's how old we are.
Mhm. And I remember playing the damn Atari before that. But yeah, you're right. It's crazy.
2600, baby, 2600.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many different things, man. So many different game systems. I'll tell you what though, with A-Rod, I think you're right. I think it is possible he'll play again. I do not see him playing for the Yankees again. I think the Yankees made a smart move. I think they sent him back to Tampa. I expect an A-Rod suspension within the next 48 hours because of this. I really do. I may be wrong, but I think if they're already laying down, go ahead.
I was just adding to that. I hope so. You know.
Yeah, no question. I can imagine.
I just want them to get it out the way, get it over with. You know it's coming. Like we need to figure out who we're going to keep at third base.
Well, since you had the best player in the game at one point in A-Rod, and if you had to replace somebody with that money, who would it be? If you could have anyone in the league, which you can because you're the Yankees, who would it be?
I mean, does it have to be a third baseman or just another great player?
I'm talking about replacing this money-wise, not his position.
Oh, I'd love to have Miguel Cabrera, but he ain't leaving Detroit no time soon. He just signed a long-time extension. But Josh Hamilton would be nice, you know. I'd like McCutchen out there in Pittsburgh. He'd look good in pinstripes. Hayward.
I think McCutchen is actually your best bet. Because how long do you think he's going to play in Pittsburgh? Even though he's had Pittsburgh looking like a decent team the last couple of years.
For the last 3 years. Low key for the last 3 years.
I don't understand why he's not MVP. I'm sorry. I mean, yes, I do, because a Triple Crown's a Triple Crown. But the fact that this dude is having a notoriously shitty team looking good is insane. But, you know, I don't know, man.
Well, I was going to say, you cannot deny.
What was you saying?
I was just saying you cannot deny the Triple Crown, regardless of how many, you know, how the season picking him out the garbage, like first time in a long time.
I think he has a legit shot at doing it 2 years in a row. I really do. I mean,
the league down a little bit. The league is down a little bit. I think the league is down a little bit. That's why it is possible to lead all three categories. There's a couple of people that got him right now, but after things even out, I think very well Cabrera could go back-to-back Triple Crowns, as you said.
Well, the only thing that has to happen is Chris Davis has to slow down. And in terms of homers, he's, 7, 8 homers behind him. And let's be honest, you know, I'm going to say this now. I don't care how many home runs Chris Davis hits. Much like Bautista in Toronto, I think both of them juiced. I'm sorry, but when you got people that have never done this before, this is the biggest sign of juicing to me, is when you get players that have never been this type of an amazing power hitter, and they come off and they're all of a sudden they're fucking Barry Bonds. I have a problem with that, man. At least Barry Bonds was consistent his whole career. He was hitting homers when he was skinny. I have a problem. I have a problem with this, man. I think Chris Davis is juicing. And I think, remember I said this, because when we're still doing this show, when he gets caught, you're going to remember me saying this. I think Chris Davis juiced. Your thoughts on Chris Davis?
I'll agree with that. I mean, he's not as clear as the other ones, but any time a player just comes out the woodwork, it all of a sudden is just hitting home runs at an ungodly rate. Like, where did this guy come from? Like, I mean, we know he's been a good, solid player, but to just come out like beasting like this, like carrying the team on his back in certain games, and it seems always to be at that right moment too. And they always say like the juicers hit it at the most clutch times because that's when the juice is flowing.
Right. Outside of Bautista, who I also think juiced, the last person
let me
to
just
do
go on
that.
the record like right now. Hold on, let me get one more thing in. Well, you asked me, like you said, we went on the record now about you saying Davis is Well, when it all comes and it's said and done, I'm going to go ahead and say Derek Jeter, never. Okay?
Oh, okay.
People have hinted around at Derek Jeter, so I want to clear it, never.
Okay, if Derek Jeter is, Ray Allen is. What I mean is, when you're great, the age doesn't mean that you still can't be great. It just means that you're getting older and your time's coming. Jeter's time is coming. But just because Jeter can still hit that hand-eye coordination, I don't believe goes away. Derek Jeter is Derek Jeter. He's the best Yankee to maybe ever live. Maybe. I'm not going to say he is. But I believe he's the face of the Yankee.
I love hearing that out of someone that isn't from. I love hearing that out of someone that isn't a Yankee fan and isn't from his hometown. Because, I mean, I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Derek Jeter, you know what I'm saying, Maroon Giants. You know what I'm saying? He went here, like this is his high school, his hometown. Born in Pequannock, New Jersey, if you look it up on the card, but raised in Kalamazoo, Michigan. So obviously I'm a homer. He went to my favorite team. He grew up here. Like, we know all about him. So it feels good to know that the greatest team in franchise sports history and the greatest player on that team comes from your hometown. So obviously I'm a little biased and agree with that. But if you stack him up against all-time Yankees, it's hard to argue.
I believe it's very possible. I mean, yeah, we can argue a couple people. I'm talking about real old-school cats. But, you know, in reality, right, exactly. Right. But overall, for the last 20 years, Derek Jeter's been the face of this team. He's stayed consistent. He's big time in the playoffs. No drugs.
Mr. November.
Right.
Yes, Mr.
Derek
November.
Jeter. Right. Derek Jeter has proven himself to me. And what's great about it is he proves that you can play actual baseball and you can be great without being just a home run hitter. That's what I love. So
exactly. He's a baseball player, not a power hitter.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
Derek Jeter never hits more than 20 home runs. He may have once his entire career. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he's going to get to 100. He's going to get to 100 RBI and 100 run score at the leadoff spot.
Yep. And he's going to be in contention for 200 hits every year. That's just the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I think people want from a player. You know. All right. Let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and continue with baseball news. There's not a whole lot. The Rangers acquire Garza from the Cubs. It's a decent little deal. The White Sox, my White Sox did activate Paul Konerko. Thank you. I used to hate Paul Konerko.
I know you just wiped the sweat off your forehead like it's about time. My savior is back.
Well, that's funny because I used to hate Paul Konerko because he's the one that replaced Frank Thomas. That's why they let Frank Thomas go to Oakland. It's because Paul Konerko. So I honestly wasn't a big Paul Konerko guy. I was actually very bitter that he was the guy that came after Frank Thomas. But
let me tell you how much I can relate, Gunnar. Let me tell you how much I can relate. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre. Enough said.
Right.
I feel you're bitter.
Exactly. But really, that's pretty much all the baseball news. You know, Hayward's returning back to the Braves, coming off the DL. I mean, we got the Nationals. The Nationals fired their hitting coach. Not a whole lot going on.
Soriano needs to go back to the pinstripes too.
Yeah. Oh, no question.
Soriano needs to leave Chicago and back to New York. He need to do that. He need to tie that little deal up too.
That would definitely be interesting. No question about it. Now we got another major story going on in sports. We're going to go ahead and move on to it. Play a clip real quick for you guys. Check this out.
NFL insider Ed Werder joins us now on SportsCenter. And Ed, with that report that Von Miller could be facing a 4-game suspension, we know he is appealing it. What has been the reaction from players?
Well, first of all, sources say that this suspension, pending appeal, is for a violation of the NFL's substance abuse policy. There's been no official reaction from Broncos VP of football operations, John Elway, who made Von Miller the very first player that he drafted when running the organization, or head coach John Fox. But I did have a text exchange with a Broncos player asked his opinion about what was going on and the reaction within the team and the locker room, and he told me, quote, "He's a different guy, but I never thought he would risk his career." He texted me and said, "Got to help him bounce back. Can't turn my back on him now. Disappointed yet concerned about him as a man. Still love him, though." And as you said, the Broncos, of course, lost Elvis Dumervil, could be playing against him the opening week of the season in Denver in a high-profile game and not have their own pass rusher. This could put an additional burden not only on Shaun Phillips, but also, of course, on Robert Ayers, another former #1 pick.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Von Miller of the Denver Broncos suspended another athlete juicing or using some sort of substance. You know, it's alleged. I don't know. But they're suspending him for 4 games. 2 things come to my mind. Number one, I always thought Von Miller was an extraordinary kid. I thought he was the future of the linebacker of the defense. Just in general, I figured he would be a many-time defensive player of the year candidate. So I do want to say this is a major blow to a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. And also, what the hell is wrong with all these athletes, man? Everybody's just. Do you think everybody's just all of a sudden juicing, or just everybody's all of a sudden getting caught? Your thoughts?
My thoughts are, they're gonna be. You sure you want them, Gunner? These ones are gonna be controversial. I know you.
Come on in.
Here it comes. Here it comes. The
We do got a
NFL ain't
caller.
gonna be that.
We do got a caller on the line, by the way.
Okay, we'll bring him in. Can I talk while they're getting brought in, or?
Yep, he just popped up. Let me see who we got here. 269, you're live on Let's Talk Sports. Who we got over here?
Yeah, what's good? What's going on?
Oh, what's up, bro? What's
y'all,
up?
Man, y'all already know who it is, man.
All right, well,
Chris, who is it, bro? Who is it?
It's the same. It's the same as yesterday. Same as yesterday. Okay, now let me finish my thought.
All right, man, y'all know who this is, man. Bulls in this bitch. Y'all know what time it is, man.
We talking about Von Miller, right? Go ahead, Chris. Finish your thought.
Okay.
Y'all talking football now?
Yeah, right now, but we got to go.
Like I said, it's going to be controversial, and then, like, Cass is waiting, so I got to let him know why. You know what I'm talking about? So, football is not going to be football without steroids. Like, they don't need to bring that little testing it. I said as soon as it started happening, when Goodell started, they're going to start testing it. It's going to ruin the game. I'm a Packers fan. I'm going to tell you like this. Clay Matthews is juicing. Flat out. Like, there's players
what happened with the Braun kid, man? I was just flipping through the channels. I seen he got suspended. He must have got caught up.
Yeah, that's what we talking about, man.
Football players bang their bodies all week long, not just on Sundays. Football players bang. There needs to be juice. I just believe that in the NFL,
but hey,
leave it alone.
Chris,
leave it alone.
Let me ask y'all something. You too, Gunner. I mean, I don't mean to interrupt you, but don't y'all think it's fucked up that, like, don't y'all think it's, like, kind of fucked up? I said, don't y'all think it's kind of fucked up? Football, the most violent sport, and they got, like, the most bogus contracts. Like, they shit ain't even guaranteed.
Yeah, hell yeah. I do agree with you, without a shadow of a doubt. And I think that's why people are juicing, is because, honestly, Trav, they're not guaranteed no money. So they got to try to stay not hurt, which, you know, HGH and I think it's
not guaranteed no money in the league where you get the most injured. How does that work? You're not guaranteed no money in the league where you have the most risk.
Literally, man. Like, how the fuck the NFL generate more money than any other sport, if I'm not mistaken, in North America, but they paying these niggas easily.
Right. And
It's the new America's thing. Baseball is no longer America's pastime. It's the NFL.
And shit, if I'd have known what I'd have known, I'd have been playing baseball when I was a shorty. Ain't no motherfucking salary cap. I wasted too many years goddamn on the court, and I wasn't gonna never be 6 feet. Shit, I should be a motherfucking ball or throwing a motherfucking pitch. Them niggas,
you're right.
Well, you can be a middle of the road baseball player and get a $30 million contract.
You're right. They always been the most highest paid. It was funny because I used to laugh back in the day when our boy MJ got that $30 million deal. And there's a lot of ignorant people that said, oh, that's got to be the biggest contract in sports. I was like, shit, there's 5 motherfuckers in baseball making that right now.
This year. Until I got older and the internet thing came about, my daddy used to tell me, he was like, shit, Jordan don't really making no money. It's a fucking crime that out of his whole NBA career, not counting, you know what I'm saying, the Jordan shoes, on the sales, Michael Jordan only made $98 million basketball money.
Yep. That's crazy.
Wow.
Man.
Out of his whole career.
Right. Olajuwon made under $100 million too. There's a lot of them cats that made under $100 million. So imagine how much money Bill Russell made or Will Chamberlain made. They probably didn't make $50 million. They probably didn't even make.
They had to jobs back then in the off season. They had to work other jobs back in the off season.
That's right. And back in the day, they didn't have no pension plans, no retirement funds, no injury clause, no none of that. Like football players in the 70s right now claiming concussion and all this. They ain't even
I had a teacher in 7th grade at Anderson High School over on 63rd and Western, back in Chicago. His name was Willie Jones. He used to play in the NBA. We used to call him Willie the Bird Jones. He was my 7th grade teacher. He was like, back then, the most a star player was making was probably about $12,000.
Right. You're right. And a lot of the cats still don't make that much. Zach Randolph used to be in that town, and Zach Randolph used to be over off 36 in Capitol, and he was still on the grind. He was still on the grind. We got a couple of callers on the line actually. So what we're gonna do here is real quick. I want to talk to you, Trav, as a Bulls fan. Nate Robinson just signed with Denver. What you think about that, man?
Shit, he was good, but we don't miss him. I've been catching up on the Summer League. I ain't got an NBA TV, but I was looking online when I had a chance to shit. T coming along nice. And then when you got hired, wasn't no minutes for Nate, no way.
Absolutely.
He's not going to make or break the team. I don't know why everybody over the last month was crying on the wall, certain Bulls fans, what we going to do in life? It's Nate Robinson, man, like, fucking for real.
I should have never even known, to be honest. You should have never known.
He came in and did what he did. This is what I'm looking at as far as the Bulls coming up this season. Now, we ain't making enough moves, but I know the contract situation, so they strapped, so they really can't do anything until Dame deal come off the books or they amnesty Boozer or his contract tradable in his last year remains. But, like I said, the pickup of Mike D going to pay heavy dividends later on down the season, I'm telling y'all. Because they ain't going to be able to play the Bulls the same when you got him and Butler on the court with Rose. And then you got Dane out there. And then just imagine when we go small and put Noah at the center, and you can play Dane and Butler at the forwards or come with Teague and Rose and Heinrich. So we going to have it. You know what I'm saying? We going to present problems.
You're right. We still got it popping, man. And I definitely agree with you. Trav, what I'm going to do, man, is I don't know if you can wait around for a second if you want to get into our next topic, but I'm gonna put you on ice for a minute and take this next caller and see who we got. Try to give everybody a chance to speak. I'm going to get right back to you if you stay on the line. If not, call back, man, when you got time.
All right.
All right, Trav. Okay, we're gonna keep things moving, man. Area code 904. You're live on Let's Talk Basketball. Let's Talk Sports. What's good? Who we got?
Yo, this is Ricky Ricardo, man. I was just calling, man, to check the show out because I didn't get to call in the first night that we was doing it. So,
oh man, I really appreciate you calling in, bro. What's on your mind again?
Not much, man. I literally just called in, so I didn't even really get to hear everything. I heard my man Trav talking about the Bulls. Fuck y'all. But, nah, I'm just joking. You know what I mean? But, not much, man. Just, yeah, next all day. So, I was just calling in just what's up?
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you calling, man. No doubt about it. One of our things that we're going to be talking about later, Ricky, is boxing versus MMA. Which one is the better? Fight discipline? Do you have an opinion on that? I'm
a boxing guy, man. That's what I grew up with. I'm just I'm trying to get into the whole MMA movement because I do enjoy watching it. You know what I mean? Just trying to understand it more. You know, but as far as my preference, is boxing. That's what I came up with. That's what I love. You know.
I can definitely understand. I can definitely relate that. So that's one vote we got for boxing. Me and Chris will get into our votes a little bit later on in the show. Definitely glad to get a vote in here. I do recommend MMA always. It's what I do. So of course I'm going to recommend it.
I recommend boxing.
I know you do. I know you do. With all the NBA news, man, and baseball news and basketball news, and football news going on right now, man, do you have any thoughts on the NBA free agency period or perhaps any of the NFL offseason news?
As far as the NBA, outside of Howard going to Houston, I'm not really. Well, and Iggy going to Golden State, I'm just not really impressed with what everybody did. I mean, my Knicks, we picked up Artest and everything, and that's good. He ain't going to put us over the threshold. I talk shit, because I want to see my Knicks do good, but he ain't really going to do nothing for us. And, I still believe Indiana is the second best in the East over Chicago. It is what it is until I'm proven wrong. You know what I mean? As far as when Rose gets back and see what he does.
I guarantee you're going to get proved wrong this year, bro. I can pretty much guarantee that, no doubt about it. The Bulls was tight without Rose, and they was the best team in the league with Rose. So the Pacers was tight. I'm getting that, but they the ops, man. Like Trav always says, they the ops. Much like your Knicks, man. So, but I do think your Knicks got a good. I do think your Knicks got a good
re-signing of Smith.
What?
Is that what now?
As a Knicks fan, talk a little bit about the re-signing of Smith and how much you like that deal.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a big JR guy. Maybe for a different team, but because we already got Melo, who is an ISO player, he's a ball stopper. That's what JR is. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. So we got two of them on the court at the same time, and that's how we got exposed against Indiana. Because he wasn't knocking down the shots. And neither one of them passed the ball. We already got Melo for that, man. We don't need both of them. But, I guess everybody need a second superstar. But, I don't know. I'm not a big J.R. Smith guy.
Man,
especially not for our team.
Yeah, we appreciate that point of view.
The Knicks ain't got a chance. It'll be a cold chance. It'll be a cold day in here.
Go down.
The chances of the Knicks even making it out the first round, listen closely, it's like a one-legged man winning the ass-kicking contest. It ain't happening.
Man, please. Nah, we definitely got a chance. We definitely got a chance.
And how you
gonna put us in the first round?
The Pacers, the second-best team. Is you serious?
I think the Knicks had a better chance to knock off the Heat than the Pacers did.
Yeah, but that's because that team is built.
But Chris, truth be told, they didn't want to see the Knicks. Because one thing the Heat know about the Knicks, if them shots would have got the falling against them boys, they could have really put some pressure on. But see, Indiana played with inside. That's how you going to beat Miami. You got to knock down them shots with a good defensive team.
Miami lucked out not having to see the Knicks in the
Right. You got to take care of their disadvantage on the inside.
That's what we was built for. We were built for Miami, and that's why, even when I knew we was going against Indiana, I was like, that's a bad series for us. Because that's not what we were built for.
One of my favorite players, man, but he don't want it bad enough.
You know what? I brought Trav in.
Glory than he do.
Kind of like Rose.
I thought Trav was the perfect addition. I thought he was
what you mean, kind of like Rose?
Hey,
what do you say?
I let Gunner go. Hey, he's the Bulls fan.
Hey, I don't like Rose, but I'll tell you what, he's back now, and now that he's back, since his muscle memory is working right, the Pacers can't fuck with him.
I knew he was gonna throw a shot. It's afraid. But this one thing about the Knicks, though, man. They need structure, man. Melo can't dominate the ball and expect to win. The ball gotta move.
But the thing is, Melo showed that he could play without having to dominate the ball. Look when we had Lynn. Like look at like Melo was putting up like 17, 18 points. Melo can play like that, but he has to have people that he believes in. And during the playoffs last year, he had nobody believing in him.
And run more plays for him in the post where he can get a double and kick it out or whatever. Like they can do a little more other than having Melo bring the ball, no dribble, wait till the shot clock go down and jack up a shot. And that's what 90% of their plays.
Yeah, but in order to get out of that, like the rest of the team have to knock down these shots, and like nobody was doing it. Like
I mean, really, they got rid of Novak, they got Bargnani.
Yeah,
who y'all think gonna be a sleeper team though? Since we talk about the top, who y'all think gonna be a sleeper team?
I made a bet with somebody. I think it may have been Chris. I say Cleveland.
Oh yeah, you was talking about that.
Cleveland's gonna be better than the Executive. Cleveland. What?
We gotta revise that bet, Gunner.
Yeah. Cleveland's going to take the 8th spot in the East. Period. I think they're going to surprise everybody. I think Kyrie Irving going to have an MVP year.
You got to wear a Pistons jersey. I'm telling you.
Right.
You got to revise that. You got to wear a Pistons jersey. Not no Cleveland jersey. You got to wear a Pistons jersey.
My number one sleeper team. My number one sleeper team this year is going to be New Orleans, man. Like I like what if Eric Gordon can be healthy,
the Pelicans gonna go
Austin,
and
with Austin Rivers coming off the bench.
Yeah, and Davis up to 225 pounds. They said he putting a little muscle on.
Yeah, you got
Tyreek.
They got Tyreek. Yeah, they're gonna have Tyreek Evans and Austin Rivers coming off the bench if Eric Gordon can be healthy.
No, Tyreek playing the 3. They gonna go with Gordon, Reed, and Holiday.
Eric Gordon is as fat as me.
I like Eric Gordon, man. I think he got game, man. He just gotta get healthy.
He all right. I just don't like him on 2K13 because he's always getting hurt, man. I don't dig him. I have a problem. I've tried to take the Pelicans, and I got to trade him every time. But he always gives me somebody good. So, just keep it. Go ahead.
Hey, Gunner, did you happen to see Jaworski top 3 quarterback in this countdown?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw you talking about old boy from Philly's list. Jaws' list. You talking about that quarterback list?
He had Rodgers number 1. He had Peyton number 2 and Brady number 3.
That's bullshit. I'm gonna say it right now.
I mean, Eli shouldn't be on the list. We know Eli shouldn't be on. I ain't feeling Aaron Rodgers. I'm a Packer fan. Aaron Rodgers ain't got no.
All right, let's go person by person. Tell me who you think number 1 should be. Number 1 for me, I think it's Peyton Manning. I think he's the smartest quarterback in the game. I think he's the best quarterback in the game. Go ahead, Chris. Who's your number 1?
Peyton Manning.
Trav.
Right up.
Jay Cutler. Now let me stop playing.
You said Jay Cutler?
Seriously. I want to say Peyton. I would say Peyton. Look, I said I was playing, man. I would say Peyton, but for the sake of an argument, I'm going to have to go with Aaron Rodgers. He can throw on the run. He can do a lot more. He ain't cerebral like Peyton is, but he can do a lot more.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you, Ricky.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna throw it out there. My number 1 quarterback is Drew Brees. I'm sorry, like that's what I'm going for.
Hey, he's a smart quarterback too. People forgot he had a year off with this. People, kind of not with the coaches and everything there. People did forget about him.
Would you like me to hear why? Let me tell you why Trav and Ricky's both wrong. Number 1, Trav only picks Aaron Rodgers because he's a Bears fan and he lights up the Bears twice a year. And so because of that, you know what I'm saying?
He be whooping.
You know how it goes. That would be like, but I can't roll that way. That would be like me saying punk ass Tony Romo is because he lights up the Giants. I can't roll that way.
Romo is overrated.
Man, fuck Romo.
Yeah, no question.
I'm a Eagles fan.
Now, here's where I'm going to go against Ricky. Drew Brees, I think, is flat out the most amazing passer in the game. He can throw up Marino yards. But here's where the problem is. He gets 50 passes a game, like Marino, because they never run the fucking ball. And I think anybody that gets 50 passes a game is going to put up 400 yards. That's just my take.
Yo,
I think any quarterback would. Go ahead.
Hey, Chris. Drew Brees, he beat Peyton Manning's ass. I'm just saying.
Hey, I ain't a fan of it.
Look, give me Eli Manning over Drew Brees any day of the week.
I was rooting for the Vikings that year. I'm a Favre fan. I was rooting for the Vikings hard that year. That was all about Hurricane Katrina, but I don't want to get into no conspiracies tonight because it's just sports.
Yeah,
but I'm saying the Vikings that
give
year,
me Eli over your boy Drew any day of the week.
hell no.
Nah.
I'm going to go with that.
That boy money when the game on the line. I don't care what nobody says.
Thank you, Trav.
Eli Manning.
He is the best
Eli Manning has bigger
quarterback.
Romo. Oh, I'll take Matt Stafford over Eli.
Eli
Manning has one of the best wide receiver combos in the league.
Thank you.
But he made him that way. Hold on. Every time a wide receiver leaves, they end up being garbage somewhere else. And I can go down a list of
another guy. Exactly.
So you don't think Drew Brees? You don't think Drew Brees could do?
Let me ask you this: who's better in the? Who's better?
He won with a Hardy Toomer as his number one receiver.
Who's better in the
Mario?
And Plaxico Burress, man.
Top
Burress
five.
got shot. Burress got
Hold
shot.
on. Armani Tuna is one of the greatest Giants receivers ever, and Plaxico Burress is 6'5" and can jump.
No, he's one of the greatest Giants receivers.
As a Packers
That's what I
fan,
meant.
You wanna
That's
know
what I meant.
why?
My bad.
You want to know? Hold on. You know the year that the Patriots lost 18-0 to the Giants? You want to know why they got to the Super Bowl? Because Plaxico Harris abused. Plaxico. Look, it's mixed up. Plaxico Burress abused Al Harris.
Al Harris. I remember that game.
Walking him. They weren't throwing up but 3-yard outs. That was it the whole game. It was like frigid.
Yeah,
like the coldest game since the Ice Bowl. I'm telling you, it ain't about Eli, baby. It ain't about him.
That's what I'm saying. Drew Brees won with what?
Man, y'all tripping.
Colson was always been his best receivers. This dude was winning with Devery Henderson and shit like that. Like, come on, man.
Man, Drew Brees.
What you think Drew Brees would do with Plaxico Burress?
Plaxico Burress did what in New York? Armani Toomer did what in Tampa? Please, I'll wait.
Dude, Armani Toomer was on his last leg, man.
After he shot himself? What if Plaxico with the Steelers? That's what you need to ask yourself the first time.
Hey, that nigga.
Go Sparty once again.
Business.
Second time we tried Zach Randolph to talk. Now we know Sparty once again.
Hey. Well, what we're going to do is, since we're talking about the quarterbacks, we're going to move on to the next. Actually, I got a situation right here. Go ahead and continue, y'all, going back and forth.
So who's going to do, the number 2 quarterbacks?
Go ahead. I'm going to have to go with what?
Shit, what's going on?
Tom Brady. I'll go with Tom Brady.
Number 2? Tom Brady? All right.
Yeah.
Who you got, Trav?
Trav, you there? Yellow. Okay, who you got, Ricky?
My number 2. See, this is a hard one for me. I'm gonna go ahead and say Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. I'm a Packers fan, but I want to know why.
I love his accuracy, man, and I love how strong his arm is, and I like that he can move in the pocket. I like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I'm a little salty because I'm a fire forever type of guy still, but, I do like Aaron Rodgers, but I feel like he isn't clutch when it counts. Like, he'll walk up and down the field all game, but then he starts getting a little hair up and, like, defensive pressure, he starts throwing picks in the end and stuff like that. Like, I don't feel he got that heart. And also, like he was talking about the Giants having a great receiving core, I feel that way about him with Jordy Nelson and my man Greg Jennings, another Kalamazoo product, and Donald Driver for so many years. Michael Pittman, tight end, is like another receiver. You know what I mean?
But, I mean, that's just like saying Robert Brooks, Antonio Freeman, and Mark Shimura. Like, the Packers keep a receiving core.
I mean, Robert Brooks, though?
Robert Brooks and Antonio Freeman were damn good receivers. Like, didn't both of them make it to the Pro Bowl at least once?
Definitely. Well, that year he broke his leg. Robert Brooks didn't even get to play, and that was the year Andre Rison ended up coming in and taking his spot for the '96 when they beat the Patriots. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Robert Brooks, but he wasn't like Michael Irvin or Jerry Rice, you know what I mean, or even Sterling Sharp, who never got to play because of his neck stinger.
True.
So when you got third,
he was a damn good compliment to Antonio Freeman, and Mark Shimura was like one of the best tight ends of his time. Like, you had like him.
For sure, he was like
him. He was
only second to Jay Novacek. Probably only second to Novacek back then.
Hold on.
Who you got third right now? Who you got third? Got to be Peyton, right?
Third quarterback. I'll throw Peyton up there.
Okay. I'll go with Aaron Rodgers at third game. So, So let's just round out the top five. I'm going to go Drew Brees fourth. And fifth, I'm going to just throw RG3 on that list. Just because I want him to be that nice. Who you got to round out the top five?
Hello?
Yeah, you hear my top five?
No. Go ahead and run it back.
Yeah, let's just round out the top five. I said I got fourth, I'm going to go with your boy Drew Brees. So I got number 1, Peyton Manning, number 2, Tom Brady, number 3, Aaron Rodgers, number 4, Drew Brees, and number 5, I'm going to throw in a wild card, say RG3, just because I feel like he got that much. If he come back healthy, I feel like he could be the new Vic, except with an arm. Because I feel like Vic never had an accurate arm. He had a strong arm, but not an accurate one. And Eli Manning wouldn't be in my top 8 probably. I'm going to take Andrew Luck. I'm going to take Tony Romo. I'm going to take Matt Stafford. I just ain't feeling Eli. I'll take the boy Ken Newton. I'll take Matty Ice, Matt Ryan. I'm slipping. Eli might not be in my top 10. Go ahead, though. Round out your top 5.
All right, let me see. My number, I said number 3 was Peyton. Number 4, I went with Tom Brady. Number 5. Let's see. You took RG3 as number 5.
So we both got the same people in our top 5. They just don't necessarily fall in the same order.
Right. Number 5, man. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say Big Ben.
Yeah.
I'm
hard to argue.
Yeah, I'm along with Big Ben on that.
So now that we got that out the way and Gunner out there, let's talk a little bit more about the Von Miller suspension. Like, what do you think he means to Denver, and does that hurt their Super Bowl chances?
I think that definitely hurts them, especially after they done already lost. They done lost Dumerville.
Yeah, so, and they were talking about he's going to play them week 1.
Yeah, I didn't even know he got suspended though. Like, I haven't even been on ESPN today. I've been at work.
Yeah, just earlier in the afternoon, he got a 4-game suspension, and he's obviously going to appeal and say he's innocent. And in 2011, his rookie season, he did have tested positive for marijuana and amphetamine, but obviously that's not performance-enhancing drugs. So we got a little bit of a pass, so we'll hope for the best. Yeah, I think that'll definitely be a blow to them, too, because probably right now, on paper, Denver would probably be my Super Bowl pick coming out the AFC. But, I mean, getting Wes Welker was huge for Peyton Manning, and having that defense already as stout as it was, and the second year in the same system, like, they're going to be tough to beat. But this is a huge loss, taking away 18.5 sacks.
I got a crazy Super Bowl pick. Like my Super Bowl pick this year, I got Atlanta, Houston.
Man, my boy Ezekiel loves Atlanta and Houston. I picked Houston last year was my Super Bowl pick. I can't let them dupe me again. I mean, they're a beautiful pick, but something about it, it's like the Lions. Like, no matter how good they are, something just seems like it's going to get the wrong injury or they'll get a bad call or something's going to happen. I just feel like Texas can't make it. But, wow, Atlanta's definitely going to be scary. Julio has another year under his belt. Roddy White, he wants one before it go. Tony Gonzalez came back to do it again. Now they got him running back. It's been Jackson coming in. If they stay healthy, Atlanta's a nice pick for the NFC, too. Like, I think last year, to be honest, it should have been Atlanta. There was a defensive pass interference on the last play versus San Francisco, in my opinion. It wasn't called, so.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
King Gunner, you lost his face. Gunner. Paging King Gunner. I guess we're going to make up.
You gotta get him back, man, because I'm home with the wifey, man, and I gotta get in here and get this time in. But I'm definitely going to keep supporting the show and calling in whenever I can.
Yeah, we appreciate that. So keep calling in. And we must respect to your Knicks and do that thing. But go Pistons.
No doubt. That'll be easy, man.
All right. Appreciate you calling. All right. So this is me here, C. Will the Realist, holding it down. You know what I'm talking about? This is Let's Talk Sports. Gunner running the switchboard, so I couldn't let any callers in if there was any on right now. So I'm going to just go ahead and chop it up here because that's what I do. Hopefully y'all didn't tune out. King Gunner must have some issues going on right now. So I guess I'm going to switch up topics and go back, I guess, a little bit more to the Von Miller topic, being suspended, and what that might do to the Denver Broncos Super Bowl chances. And like I said, Wes Welker coming to Denver is a huge addition. It's got to piss off Tom Brady. The Patriots could have matched that offer. Like, it was a tender sheet where they could have matched the offer, and they didn't. Tom Terrific's probably a little salty. So, but Von Miller is obviously the leader of the defense. He was rookie of the defensive rookie of the year, 18.5 sacks last year. I mean,
all right, ladies and gentlemen,
he's running the show out there. You back, King Gunner?
Yeah, I'm back, man. I had a kind of crazy situation I had to attend to.
That's all right. You Will the Realist is holding it down. We just chopping up sports here. We can get right into the topic I was talking about. I'm on the Von Miller.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Denver Broncos. What do you think about that? Do you think it hurts Denver's Super Bowl aspirations missing them? But, the Giants played them the third game of the year, so, I mean, Eli probably appreciate him being out for the first four. Your thoughts, Gunner?
I don't think it touches the Super Bowl aspirations at all because the first 4 games is just 4 games. It always takes Peyton Manning a little bit to heat up. He's had bad starts before in his career. He's had good starts before in his career. I think Von Miller is a big loss, but only being the first 4 games, I don't think it affects their Super Bowl bid. But I do think it helps my Giants lose. Go ahead, Trav.
You know what? I hadn't thought about it like that. I respect that opinion. Now that you say it is only the first quarter of the season, it's not like it's half. And considering they play in the weakest division in the AFC, I guess you're right about that. I mean, with the Raiders got Chuck Woodson back, but they're not looking up. The Chargers are Phillip Rivers. I don't even want to talk about him. And the Chiefs, I mean, they did get Alex Smith in there, but you might as well have Matt Castle, in my opinion. So they ain't going to do too much. But the way you said that, though, it does shine well. And to be honest, in my memory bank, when Peyton played for the Colts, his best years when they went deeper in the playoffs is when they started so-so and head up in the end. Because all those years where they were like 13-3 and rested in December and took 2 weeks off in the bye week, they would get bounced every first game after the bye week because they wasn't hot. I think in football, you as a Giants fan knows all too well as a wild card Super Bowl champ. You know what I mean? You get hot at the right time is what it's about in the NFL. It's not about having home field throughout the playoffs because they say it for the reason, a cliche, any given Sunday.
Right. I feel you 100%. Trav, man, what about you, man? Do you think it hurts the Super Bowl hopes?
And no one else. It's just me. Maybe Steve Will, the realist, was holding it down all alone. Like Trav, he must have hung up when you did, and then me and Ricky chopped it up a little bit, talked some more about our top 5 quarterbacks of all time. Ricky and me had about identical. Like Ricky had number 1, Drew Brees. Number 2, Aaron Rodgers. Number 3, Tom Brady. Number 4, who'd he say? Peyton Manning.
You know what?
Number 5.
This is going to lead us
Number
into
5,
the next.
he had Big Ben. Number 5, Big Ben. So
This is going to lead us into one of our. I was going to tell you this is going to lead us into one of our next stories. But what I wanted to ask you though about steroids, man. Do you think that that athletes are just now starting to do it, man, or are they just now starting to get caught?
No. Athletes are football players. Because, I mean,
Say what?
Athletes or football players specific, do you mean?
I think just athletes in general.
Well, I mean, I have to say, yeah. I mean, how can I? It's been in baseball since it's been tested. It's frankly a newer aspect added to the NFL, and I think it's only going to damage the game to help sissify the league more than it's already become in the Roger Goodell's No Fun League, where James Harrison can't even clean a clock over the middle. Like, what happened to the fun days of the league? But anyways, that's how I feel that's going.
Right. I can figure that. The next story, man, we're going to lead into, we'll play a quick clip. Check this shit out since we're talking about quarterbacks.
Robert Griffin III via Twitter today, Adam, said, "Doctors cleared me to practice. Coach is going to ease me in. Thank you for your support, and see you in Richmond." Adam, what does this mean going forward?
It means everything that you would think it would. When RG3 tweets that doctors have cleared him to practice, that's all that you need to know. Now, the Redskins will be very careful. With all the criticism and scrutiny that they came under last year, they're not going to want to rush RG3 along and put him on the field before he's ready. Now, again, the doctors have cleared him initially, but the Redskins will have their eye more on the regular season Monday night opener against the Philadelphia Eagles than they will having him ready for these drills. They're going to be very careful, even though he has passed the initial test with the doctor. But the good news is that right now, from all indications, RG3 appears to be ahead of schedule.
I mean, we're talking about an injury that occurred about 7 months ago. It is unbelievable how quickly he has recovered.
Kevin, I'll tell you, RG3 and Adrian Peterson in particular, though, have raised the bar on the level of expectations that is expected that comes along with knee injuries. Because they have done what they have, when other athletes don't come along as quickly, they get questioned almost in an unfair way because of what these superhuman beings have done in their recoveries and comebacks.
Look at Derrick Rose. I mean, it happened in the NBA this year with the Bulls fans wanting Rose back earlier than expected. All right, busy morning for our NFL insider, Adam Schefter. Adam, thanks.
Obviously, RG3 is cleared, man, to practice. I hope he doesn't have any muscle memory. I don't think he will. I think he'll be back, ready to go opening day. What was that?
I said I knew that was coming when you said about the muscle memory.
Oh, yeah, man. What do you think about RG3?
My man even spun it in at the end, too. He spun it in at the end, too. He said something about D. Rose in the end. He was like, and Bulls fans wanted him to come back. You can't help but bring it up.
Yeah, no kidding. You can't, no doubt about it. I think without a shadow of a doubt, RG3 will be back. But I don't think this is the last time we'll see him on the IR. I think he'll have a short career, despite what a lot of people think. I think his style of play and what makes him exciting is what's going to hurt him in the long run. I think he'll be Michael Vick Part 2.
Yeah, well, when he was off the phone, and let me run down my top 5 quarterbacks so I could spin it into this. I got the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, and I threw in to just spice it up, RG3. I feel like he could be Mike Part 2 if he stays healthy with an arm. Because I don't think Michael Vick ever had the arm to be a quarterback. He had the strength to throw a deep ball, but he had some of the worst accuracy ever. The Falcons will win a game and he'd be 6 of 21 for 88 yards, but 152 on the ground. Like, I feel like RG3 could hit you with 200 in the air and that buck on the ground. Like, if he stay healthy, he's going to be – I feel you on – might be back. It's a big if with the knee injury, but it wasn't like he got crushed his knee. It just popped. So we seen what AP did last year. Everyone ain't AP.
But RG3 has injury past, in college. RG3, I know what you're saying. My top 5 goes Peyton, Brady, Breeze, Rodgers, Eli. I think Eli is number 5, no question.
I'll take Matty Ice, Matty Stafford. I mean, there's some other ones I'll say not to be, so you won't be mad at me, but I'll probably take Romo over your boy.
You're on drugs. You're on fucking drugs.
I'm serious. Eli ain't that little podunk. I mean, he just seemed like he remedial, like he can't read a book. Like he just nothing makes him happy, nothing makes him sad.
Right. I know
he has no emotion. Like I don't know. I'm a Brett Favre guy, so like I like a little emotion in the game. Like Eli, and he lost to the Patriots twice. The last time. I mean, not lost to him. Obviously not lost to him. And the last time he lost me some money because I bet on the Patriots because I was like, okay, there's no way Belichick and Brady going to let him do it twice, especially after the 18-0. So, But, I mean, it's hard to argue. I mean, it's hard to argue that Eli isn't top 5. I mean, but I would take Matt Ryan over him right now.
Right. I agree, man. No, I don't agree with Matt Ryan, but I know what you're saying, man, and I could roll with a lot of what you're saying. Matt Ryan is definitely a star.
So our top 4 is identical, basically, besides switching Breeze and Rodgers. Our top 4 is identical.
Right. Absolutely. And all in all, man, our first sports show has been pretty solid. I did learn a lesson. The round table will not work. Having 4 people on here at the same time, it just don't work. I don't think it works. I think it was a lot of static, a lot of craziness. I think we got to be careful with that. But, you live and you learn, bro. You live and you learn. But with all of that said, next week we're going to have a lot of different sports topics to talk about. There wasn't a whole lot going on today. I know you got a big morning. You got to get up in the morning. And for now, our sports show is going to be about an hour, sometimes 2, depends on how long we're willing to go. But all in all, man, I think we had a successful first sports show. Your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. I mean, nothing. When we went out a hitch, like you had to take care of some business. We never had no open time. You'll hear it on the playback. Right. We was off set. We had good banter. Yep. Like, it got a little hectic and hard to hear, but, I mean, it's just like that. That's what happens when the talking heads come. I agree with you. It probably should be more. It should be more one at a time, considering this is a radio format, so people can hear us out, and each person gets to speak. And then, like, if there is little comments, everyone ain't trying to cut them in at the same time. I understand that. But all in all, it's a good show. I mean, I didn't expect it to be ended now, but I mean, I'm down with it. Let's wrap it up.
Absolutely, man. I had a definite emergency happen. All in all. It's going to be we're going 6 days a week. Well, I'm going 6 days a week. We're definitely putting in a work. All of y'all out there that haven't checked us out on our other shows, man, make sure you do. Tomorrow night I'll be coming back with another show. Tomorrow night's going to be Real Shit with King JB and Mukai Moromo. We have many different shows. Kingdom of Truth, the flagship show at the moment, is the big one every Sunday night. Make sure y'all check it out. We got N.A. Poe, one of the biggest activists out there, coming up. Now, without a doubt, man, I appreciate doing the show with you. It's been a fun time. We're going to definitely come back next week. You're more than welcome to join me on any of my shows this week. You know the deal. You know the number. You know the way to get in. But at the end of the day, sports world, man, it's something I think we both live for, and I'm excited about where this is going to go. We had quite a bit of callers on the line. Some of them I couldn't even get to, and I appreciate everybody that took the time to listen and call. And see Will, man, we're gonna see him next week.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna see y'all next week. Appreciate for listening. Keep calling when we can't get to it. Next time we definitely want to get to everybody because we definitely need people to call in to make the show what it should be. So
yep, and if we got to, yeah, no doubt. If we got to, we'll push this thing up to 2 hours every week, no doubt about it. However, we need to get it to make sure it's where it needs to be. But for King JB and C. Will the Brothers, we out of here, man. See us next week.
Holla.